Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. This video we're going to go over what I believe is the best Dragonpine farming route. There's a lot of other videos out there. I've noticed that they mostly show you the same areas. What they mostly show you is here in the Anaran Plains. You'll have people who are saying that this, basically farming this Cloverwood Hollow area, is going to be your best and fastest method for gathering lumber. So if that's what you're interested in, then that's what other people are saying. It's a good route. I think if you want to go there, there's really nothing wrong with it. I found that there's a lot of mobs there and it's a little bit more hilly than I want, but again, it's a good farm. Also, you'll notice I'm not, oh, well, maybe you won't because I'm zoomed in. I'm not on a druid. I am lazy. I like my portals more than I like being able to farm while mounted. A lot of people would disagree with me. And also, if you're min-maxing, then you should be on a druid. But that's part of why I don't like when there's mobs. Not because I can't one-shot them, but because it means I have to stop what I'm doing and waste precious seconds because I land on top of mobs to try and get a node. So that's why I don't want to go there. But let me show you actually really quick. Not this one. Or that one. Sorry. Not the most professional. We will go over those though. So this is basically the tightest route that I've seen other people suggest for the Anaran Plains. So again, if that's where you want to go, that's what other people are saying they are getting the most out of. Not my experience, however. My experience is that the best route is going to be actually this route. This is my Amir Drasil route. This area has got so many lumber nodes. It is relatively flat. The tree cover is thick enough that you've got tons of nodes, but not so thick that you're hitting branches. The trees are spaced far enough apart that they're great. There's almost no aggroable mobs, so if you do have to get on and off a mount, there's nothing for you to be fighting. And I'm actually really surprised that other guides aren't recommending this area because of because of how many nodes that there are. It's really, really surprising to me. So let me just go and show you what that looks like. So we're here in Amir Drasil. We're right smack dab in the middle. This is that route that I recommended. Just going around here. Now, I really don't think for lumber that routes are that important. There's just so many nodes that just flying around, picking an area and just flying around it in a circle, I think is your best bet for pretty much any lumber farm. They just pop up so quickly that you're really not missing anything. Now, on my picture, I don't go around this little lake here. I do actually recommend that you do, because as you can see, like, look how many nodes there are. So I should update that picture, but just watching this, I fly around here, then just come back the other direction, fly through here. You can either go up or you can go through that little arch. I'll come up here, go around these trees, either go around this tree or come around it like this. You'll have some that are out here on the edges, so usually what I'll do is kind of switch it up. Sometimes I'll come around the edge on the outside. Sometimes I will just do what I just did there, where I come in front of the tree. Again, the route is not necessarily locked in. You're just flying around in circles. And then you come over here. You can see... So you can just see how many nodes there are, and you'll be busy, especially if you are on a druid, or able to farm while mounted. So that's what I think the very best is. However, I do think that there are other good routes, and I will show you them. One was the Anaran Plains. The other... So let's pull this up here. So here's the map of the entire Dragon Isles, the Anaran Plains that other people are recommending. The other one I find is here in Azure Span, and we'll look at that a little more closely in a second. Another I put a yellow circle around here is the Forbidden Reach. The reason is because it also has a lot of nodes that spawn. However, it's very, very hilly, very mountainous, and so you're doing a lot of up and down. Now, if you are on a druid or mounted farming, that may not bother you. And so since it's such a small area and a lot of nodes pop up, you could probably get a lot in a short period of time. But it's not my best recommendation because of that constant up and down. Also, sometimes it's kind of hard to find the nodes, but I think once you get going, you kind of learn where they spawn and it becomes a lot quicker. But let's look at this Azure Span route. So the majority, and the reason I don't think people are recommending it, is because the majority of this area is extremely either covered in trees or cliffs or mountains, and it just really isn't the cleanest, nicest area to fly. However, this little spot right here in Camp Nowhere is nice and flat and doesn't have a lot of tree cover, and you can just go around in this short circle and get a lot of different lumber nodes. So I'm not going to fly through it, but you may want to go and check that one out as well, especially if for some reason you don't feel like going and flying around Amir Drasil. But that is by far what I think is the best. I think it's going to get you the quickest amount of lumber. I am surprised other guides are not recommending it. I have a feeling that they will probably update and follow suit in the future. So again, to wrap this up, this is what I think is your best bet. Instead of ending right here like I show on here though, I would go up around this lake. So I would expand this to just go up here. The rest of this is still a really good farm. It's just got a lot more hills. It's not nearly as flat and easy to fly around. So that's the only reason that I didn't include this. I didn't include this because it doesn't have that many nodes and it is just full of trees. So please let me know if you agree with my choices here. If you've gone and tried them out and you think they are really good or you don't think they're very good for some reason. And let me know if there's another area that you think that maybe I am not considering that is maybe even better. I've tried everywhere, and these are the places I definitely think are the best, but I'd love to hear if anybody thinks that there's something that I'm missing. So thank you so much, as always, for watching. I genuinely do appreciate you, and I hope you have a great one. Bye.